Welcome to Blessed Tales, where every story dey touch heart and magic no be only for fairyland. Ndị be anyị, sit back, relax because this tale go carry you far, where love and mystery dey dance together. Let the story begin.
In a kingdom of unparalleled wealth and splendor, Princess Alara was the very heart of her people's joy. The golden-haired princess was adored not only for her beauty, but also for her compassion, which shone brighter than her crown. Yet, as much as she was loved, she was also cursed, trapped by a magic she couldn't comprehend, and a fate she could never escape. The curse had been cast on her 16th birthday by a strange and ancient woman who appeared at the gates of the royal palace, carrying with her an air of mystery. The woman, draped in tattered robes and bearing an enigmatic smile, presented a golden rose to the princess. Her words were cryptic, yet hauntingly clear. "This rose, dear child, will be the keeper of your fate. Its thorn, sharp enough to pierce even the bravest of hearts, carries with it both a blessing and a curse. If you guard it well, you shall live in peace. Lose it, and you shall become a prisoner of time, frozen in gold, with no escape. Your heart and soul bound to this curse for eternity." Alara, naive and unaware of the danger, dismissed the warning as nothing more than the ramblings of a strange woman. Her life had always been charmed, untouched by sorrow or hardship. How could this curse be real? But the very night she received the golden rose, the curse began its dreadful work. As the moonlight bathed the castle in silver, Alara found herself frozen in place, her body turning into pure gold. Her heart was still, her breath stilled, her eyes lifeless. She had become a golden statue. When dawn broke, the curse would lift, and she would return to life, only to be trapped again when the moon rose high. Day after day, year after year, this cruel cycle continued, and the princess became more and more helpless. She lived in fear of the night, dreading the moment the moonlight would turn her into a statue once again. Her kingdom, once vibrant and filled with joy, began to fade under the weight of the curse. The royal family sought every cure, spells, enchantments, and pleas to the heavens, but nothing could break the magic that shackled her. The princess's beauty remained, but her heart became weary. Despair settled into her bones. Even her loyal servants, who adored her, could only watch helplessly as their beloved princess withered away under the curse. One evening, when the moon began to rise and the gold of Alara's body began to creep up her limbs, a stranger appeared at the gates of the castle. Leaf was a peasant, unremarkable in appearance, but carrying the weight of an unbearable loss. His village had been destroyed by a terrible storm, and he had heard of the princess's plight. Driven by desperation and a deep sense of empathy, he made the long and arduous journey to the palace, seeking answers. He had no magic to offer, no riches to present, only a burning desire to save her. When he entered the castle, he wandered through the halls, aimlessly at first, until he found himself in the royal gardens. And there, in the center of a pool of moonlight, stood the princess, frozen in golden form, her beauty untouched by time, her eyes empty of life. Leaf's heart broke at the sight of her. He knelt before her, unsure of what to do, yet drawn to her with an unexplainable force. With trembling hands, he reached forward and touched the golden thorn that clung to her hand, wondering if it could somehow free her. His touch caused a prick on his own finger, and in that instant, his blood mixed with the gold, causing a flicker of life to stir within Alara. Her eyes fluttered open, and for the first time in years, her voice returned. "Who are you?" she whispered, her voice ragged as if she had been lost in silence for far too long. "I am Leaf," he said softly, his voice full of wonder. "I've heard your story. I came to help you." Alara, though still bound by the curse, could sense something different about this man. Unlike the knights and lords who had come and gone, Leaf's gaze was not filled with pity, nor was it filled with desperation. There was something pure in his eyes, something untainted by the world of power and riches she had been born into. Over the course of many days, Leaf remained by her side, tending to her, comforting her, and learning of her curse. As they spoke, Alara began to share the truth she had long buried. The curse was not just a magical prison. It was a test of love. Only someone who truly loved her, without expectation or gain, could break the curse. But it would require the ultimate sacrifice, a sacrifice that would cost the lover everything they held dear. Alara knew that the one who loved her most would have to give up their life, their family, their future. She could never ask anyone to make that kind of sacrifice. The fear of losing another person, especially one she had grown to care for, consumed her. But Leaf, in his quiet way, never wavered. "You don't have to ask," he whispered one evening, as they sat beneath the stars. "I would give up everything for you. If my love is what can free you, then I will gladly sacrifice it all." As the days passed, their bond deepened, and Alara's heart began to heal in a way she had never imagined. But their fragile peace was shattered one evening when a terrible force entered the castle. The sorceress, the one who had cursed Alara all those years ago, returned. She appeared in the shadowed corners of the castle, her eyes burning with fury. She had been watching from afar, waiting for this moment to come. "You think you can undo my curse?" she hissed, her voice low and menacing. "You think love can defeat me? You know nothing of the power I command." With a wave of her hand, she sent a torrent of dark magic that wrapped Alara in chains of burning gold. The chains dug deep into her flesh, searing her skin. Alara screamed in pain, but no one could stop the sorceress's wrath. Leaf rushed to her side, his heart pounding in his chest. "No!" he cried out, but the sorceress's power was overwhelming. He pushed against her magic, but it was as if the very air in the room was suffocating him. The sorceress's laughter echoed throughout the castle as she tightened her grip on the chains, tightening the curse once more. "This is your fate, princess, and there is no escaping it. No love can break what I have woven." But just as the darkness seemed to swallow them, an unexpected force entered the castle, the old woman who had cursed Alara years ago. The air around her shimmered with a power older than time itself. "The time for your curse is over, sorceress," the old woman declared, her voice ringing through the hall like a clarion call. "The magic is undone." With a single gesture, The sorceress was banished from the castle, her form dissipating into nothingness, leaving only a trace of shadow behind. As the chains that bound Alara fell away, the princess collapsed into Leaf's arms. "It's over," she whispered, her voice a mix of relief and sorrow. But the price of the curse's end was still to be paid. Leaf looked down at her, his heart breaking. "The sacrifice," he whispered. "I have to do it, don't I?" Alara nodded, tears streaming down her face. "It's the only way." Without another word, Leaf took the golden thorn from her hand and pressed it into her palm. "I give everything," he whispered, "to break this curse. My life, my past, my future, all of it is yours, Alara. You are my love, my heart, my everything." The golden thorn glowed with a blinding light, and in that moment, everything changed. The castle was still, the world held its breath, and the curse was lifted. Leaf, however, was no longer there. He had vanished, leaving only his love behind. Alara fell to her knees, grief washing over her, as the weight of his sacrifice overwhelmed her. But deep inside, she knew that his love would live forever within her heart. Would you sacrifice everything for love? Let us know in comments. The end.
If this story moved you, biko like, share and press that red subscribe button. Every week na new tale dey drop from Blessed Tales, full of wisdom, wahala and true love. Till next time, remember say ọgụgụ ọma na-eme ka mmụọ dị jụụ. Good story calm the spirit. Stay blessed, stay magical.